Hi everyone, welcome to today's live. I'm here with Psychic Marin and my name is Carly. I'll be your moderator. Hi Marin, how are you?
I am doing wonderful today. Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining us. This is going to be a fun one. So thank you for tuning in today.
Yes, and this is a very special live because right now we are simultaneously going live on Facebook and YouTube. So special welcome to all of our YouTube subscribers that are watching right now. This is the first time that we're doing a live for them as well.
Awesome.
Okay, so to start everyone off, if this is your first time doing one of our Facebook Lives, just a couple of housekeeping reminders. We will not be able to answer any health questions or legal questions. So no, am I pregnant or is this lawsuit going to go through? Well, stay clear from those questions. But Psychic Marin can answer anything on love, relationships, family. We get a lot of stuff on careers. And if you can ask very specific questions, so not, how is my 2020, the rest of my 2020 going, but very specific questions to really help Marin tune into you and we can get to as many questions as possible. And if you are asking about a significant other, please mention their first name as well. So let's dive right in. Oh, actually, before we dive right in, Marin, I know one of your specialties is tarot, and at the end of the show, we're going to be doing rapid fire question card pulls. How did you first get into to tarot?
Well, I actually really wanted a Ouija board when I was like 12, 13 years old. I don't know how or why I was introduced to a Ouija board. I can't remember. I just know I asked my mom and parents for 2 years for a Ouija board, and they thought it was scary, and so I settled on tarot card. My mom wasn't willing to get me a Ouija board, but she was willing to get me tarot cards. So my first psychic fair I went to when I was 13, and I met with a woman that was actually very well known, Mary Greer, who gave me my first reading, and I bought my first deck from the table next to her, and I chose it based on the background. I felt comfortable using it. Some of the images and some of the card decks are really a little bit scarier, especially for a 13-year-old diving into a new spiritual realm. And so I wanted something that was friendly, and it kind of spoke to me. And I started working with it and had my book and trying to learn. And that's when it started.
Nice. And do you have to be a psychic to appreciate and use tarot cards on your own? Is it something that anyone can try their hand at, or do you have to go to a professional?
Absolutely. I think anybody can start to work with the tarot because it's a tool, and whether you have a religious upbringing or background that sometimes prevents you from feeling like you can safely work with the tarot, there are other deviations of the tarot. There are oracle decks or meditation decks or just single little message decks, angel decks. So some people tend to gravitate towards those because they feel more comfortable using them. There's a lot more symbolism and deep metaphors and messages and imagery connected with the tarot. And so from a scholarly perspective, I really like what the tarot represents and brings. But I think that anybody can work with the tarot, even just something as simple as one card pulls, just one single card, and incorporating that into your day.
I agree. And I also understand that it's very complex, all the different meanings behind the cards and the symbolism. So I suggest also, if someone has their own deck and they still need that confirmation, like, what does this card really mean? Go ahead and give us a call, use our chat feature, and a psychic can help interpret the card that you pulled for yourself or the spread that you did if you need that extra step. But yeah, thank you very much for kind of diving in a little bit and into your background on that. That was really interesting.
Yeah, I think I'll at one point, and I know we're short on time, but one of the things that I hear a lot of people get hung up with is they refer to the little white book that comes with your deck. And when you get into that habit of reading and trying to memorize, you're not really expanding your intuition in that process. You're learning how to read through memorization, which in my opinion kind of hinders the psychic process. So that's why it is helpful sometimes if you're limited to just reading the little booklet and trying to interpret that and you hit the roadblock because it doesn't make sense. Sometimes speaking to a psychic or an intuitive can help you see beyond the little interpretive book and how that card really applies to your life or scenario.
Excellent. I agree. And before we answer our first question, I want to point out we do have a promo code for any of our new customers. If you've never gotten a reading with California Psychics, it's running across the screen right now. Use the promo LIVE5 when you buy your first package, and you'll get an extra $5 added to that on us. So if you haven't had a reading before, Psychic Marin is fantastic, and you should give her a call after the show.
I will be on tonight, so thank you.
Awesome. Our first question, let's go.
Okay.
Sorry, let's see.
No problem.
Hello, Marin, you are the best. I have rude neighbors and would like to know the outcome of the situation I'm in. She didn't really go into detail about what the situation is, but rude neighbors.
Yeah, rude neighbors, and I'm trying to see what's being put on property, what's being, okay. And you already have kind of a spiritual background. I'm just curious if you've lit candles or what prayer work you've done or kind of spell work you've done to try helping the situation.
Hello? Oh, we
I
seem to have.
feel like this is
There we go.
Am I still here?
Yes, you're back. It went black for a little bit, but you're good.
Could you still hear me, or should I repeat what I was saying? I think I'll just pick up where we left off.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I feel like this is not going to be an issue that resolves anytime soon, because this is extended way beyond the property, and now it's become this personal attack between the two of you. And so much so to where you're looking, or not necessarily you, the others are looking at ways to try to inconvenience you. It almost feels like you're trying to battle it out to see who's going to uproot and who's going to leave. I know that it feels like you want to engage. I know you want to stand your ground, but this is one of those situations where you're just adding fuel to the fire. And I really suggest you take a more docile, take a step back, absolutely doing your best to try minimizing how just frustrated you are feeling with her getting under your skin, because that's what they're showing me. And now it has become personal, and you've got to remove that personal element of the attack to be able to get to more of this resolution with the property issue. I feel like you've got months of this because you're emotionally caught up in it. I'd love to talk with you more off the live if you want to speak about this, but this is going to be a tricky one, because you've got to really adjust your approach and how you're doing this, because you're just fueling her and giving her more and more energy and more momentum to continue to engage, and it's messy.
Yeah, and that was for Ashley. The question had popped off, but that was for Ashley, and thank you so much, Ashley. And it sounds like you could really benefit from having a more one-on-one call, so be sure to call Marin tonight. And just a reminder to everyone, we're getting a lot of questions that are mentioning a significant other but not using names. So be sure to make sure you're using names whenever you're commenting. And like this one, Mariella says, "Hi, Marin, will I hear from Morris soon?"
Morris. That's a little disconnected. And so immediately I get about 2 months out. So I don't get that you are in constant communication right now. It feels like it's going to be just under 2 months. I'm curious if there's like a birthday or a holiday or something significant and why he has an excuse or ability to reach out, because that's what he's looking for. It feels like I'm nervous to reach out of the blue for no reason. So if I have an excuse, it makes it a little bit easier. And I feel like he's waiting. So if you don't want to initiate that to make that icebreaker a little bit easier, you're going to be waiting about 2 more months.
Got it.
Thank you.
So Heaven wants to know, what's in the stars for my crush, Evelyn, and me? Do you see anything with their relationship?
much stronger when I'm looking at late November. So I'm thinking that there's going to be a little bit of a separation physically where one of you are traveling or you're a little bit more distant, because the increase of that connection and the closeness physically is what they're showing me at the end, like middle to end of November. That's much stronger. I finally feel this relief in you when I'm looking at May. When I see May of early next year, there's this relief of commitment. We're in this relationship. I know the direction that this is going, and now I can relax and enjoy. So it will still feel, even with me giving you that timeline of the end of November, that just feels like it's the start now of it growing and getting to a really solid place come May. So thank you for your question. Good stuff to look ahead to.
And that's one thing I also want to point out to all of our listeners today is that Psychic Marin is really good at timelines, which I know is something that from our customers we get a lot. So she's pointing out right now, if you want to know a timeline of how events are going to fold out, again, Marin is your lady.
Thank you. Yes, so many callers call for timelines. So thank you.
So we have Thinkor, or actually her name is Ratika. Hi, my name is Ratika. Can I please know when I will get a full-time job? I never get appreciated in anything I do.
Okay. And with that, as you read the question, I'm getting more of an impression of regret that you didn't pioneer something, that you didn't become the entrepreneur that you were considering, meaning not launching a little side business or doing something independently. I'm curious if you had a connection with food, or if there's something that you were going to do like maybe 10 years ago. I want to say, for one, it's not too late. And two, if you do want to stay the course, especially right now with the pandemic, I know now's not the most secure time to leave jobs, especially if you've got benefits and stuff. But I do see that it's who you are. It's your personality, and your personality is softer and kinder and sometimes more submissive or docile, and you tend to get kind of walked on. And you've got a difficult decision. Are you going to slightly modify who you are to compete in the workforce and be able to hold your head high? Or are you going to take a different approach and perhaps something that you can do yourself, launching something on the side and taking those baby steps to become more independently employed, so you can maintain who you are and be kind and softer and continue to work without compromising who you are. I see this pattern with you, and I'm sure if you really step back and look at your life, you'd realize that it's not just in the workforce that you've experienced this. It's who you are. And so it's this lifelong battle for you to either stick to that and hold that integrity, or let that go in order to compete and get ahead, and deciding what's most important for you.
Yeah, some difficult decisions ahead. A lot of introspection.
Yeah, that one's a little tricky, because I just don't, and I should say for you, I'm not seeing that there's this magical job right here waiting for you. And that is how it is for some people when I read for them. But for you, it's like, nope, it's not the job. It's you and your approach to work and life.
Lagaya says his name is Mike and today is his birthday. I'm wondering, will we stay exes this time? Or if yes, when will I meet someone else?
Okay. You two have this yo-yo on and off that has gone on for this looks like years. I don't see that cycle breaking. I see this on and off and on and off. And he competes with you. You're a strong personality. He tries to compete or sometimes can squash that energy. And I see this struggle, which in some ways, like, they're not disagreeing with, they're actually supporting this, because believe it or not, through this chaos, there's a lot of growth for both of your souls. And so even though it's not happily ever after, there's still this soul connection with you where you really are helping each other grow. And I see the two of you in this relationship and in this pattern for years. And I see you hitting a point. It's going to take about 4 or 5 more years where you finally get this point of just calm or surrendering. And I just love you. And I'm not going to keep fighting with, I'm not going to keep engaging with you. I'm starting to just relax and enjoy. Like your soul's going to start to calm more. I see you guys together for years, and it's not going to be easy, but there's definitely a reason why you are with each other, because you are helping each other grow, and lots of lessons.
Before we go on to the next question, I want to have a few announcements. One is right now we have a social media contest going on. We're giving away 50 free reading dollars. You can be an existing customer, a new customer. All you have to do is go to our Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, and it's our first pinned post up there. It tells you all the rules on how to enter. It's super easy. All you have to do is like, comment, and share our post. And we'll be picking a winner later on this week. Again, the contest does end tomorrow, so go ahead and after the show, go in and enter our contest. Our next question is from Ty. Does Alicia want to be in a committed relationship with me?
Absolutely. Yes, she does. She triggers you. She's a little tricky, a little more plain hard to get, but that's an absolute. I think that it's more of testing you to see the limits and the thresholds of your generosity. And I absolutely get yes, relationship. 1, 2, 3 more weeks. The very end of August. You've got about 3 more weeks before this is solid and you are committed.
Speaking of some more timelines, Shyla says, when will I marry Andy?
Okay. That looks stretched out. I'm curious if you had a delay, like if you were engaged or if that was called off. The proposal portion of the relationship looks strained or looks like it's very complicated. When I'm looking at the actual, you've got about just under 2 years. But I feel like there's a problem with the proposal that is going to be resolved where it looks like it's called off or it's on or off. Not something that is just dates changing because of COVID and pandemic. We've gotten so many callers because everybody's had to cancel their weddings and reschedule, and everything's upside down. So that's yours is between the two of you. There's a little glitch, and I do see you getting married, but you are about 2 years out.
And she did respond. She says she has the ring. She has the ring, and then she said at one time. So I'm not sure. That could be the bumpy road that was happening.
It looks like you're engaged or have been engaged, and then that's going to be called off, and then you're back engaged. And I don't want that to discourage you. And certainly I don't want you to lose that excitement in planning the wedding and the fun and the joy behind that, because it is going to happen just like a year and 11 months, like right around there is when I'm seeing the actual wedding, but it's the proposal part that's going to be rocky.
Kristen says, should I give up on Matthew?
What I see happening with you is I don't describe it as if you're making a conscious choice to give up on him. I feel like it's very hard for you to give up because you are so compassionate, and he kind of rides on your energy. He feeds off of you and your vibrance, and he's just a little bit more stuck, a little bit more lost. And I don't think you can consciously make that choice to just leave him because your heart is too compassionate. What I'm seeing is March of next year. There's going to be communication, but I'm seeing that you're meeting a new gentleman that is early March of next year. And I just feel like it kind of just dwindles, and you still have this definition of we'll be friends, but really that's for you in allowing yourself to let go of him. I'll still be your friend. We'll still be friends, but you're going to meet a new person early March. And I keep getting images of like I get I don't know if I'm allowed to name retailers or certain stores, but I'm getting like large delivery services, and I keep getting an image of like a postage and delivery, and I just am giving you that hint and lead as a way that you're going to be meeting this person in March. So I think I answered the question. It was that,
Yeah.
I believe it was pretty brief. That was everything.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think you got it. That was great. Okay. Our next question from Mirna: why did everything end with my ex without an explanation?
He met someone else, and I know you know, and I know you don't want to know, but he met someone else. And what's really going to confuse you is I don't see that he's completely out of your life, but it would be best for your life path if he was, because he's just coming back. There's a little bit more turmoil. I see a younger child, so I don't know if there's a child together, if that's his with this other person, but there is a younger child that I'm seeing around him. And I just get towards December, now he's back. Now he's wanting to talk, but yet she's still in the background, big red flag. And I just say that it's best for you to try finding that closure as much as possible and heal. It's a messy situation. And he met someone else and doesn't want to let you know, because I don't think he really believes that it's going to work out and wants to kind of keep options open. It's messy. I think that you're wise to avoid it.
Yeah, that sounds like good advice. And we're hovering around 102 views right now, 102 people. Thank you everyone for watching. But we want to up that even more. So go ahead and throw some comments in the comments below. Tag some friends that you know, are they going through any messy relationships or looking for a new job? Tag your friends in the comments and ask them to ask some questions as well. We want to get this up to 200 views in the next 10 minutes. So help us out. Our next question is from, this one was kind of open-ended. I meant to hit the one above that, but we'll go here. Joy Ann, will I meet someone special this year?
Not this year. And I believe that you've either had readings or you have been told or informed that it's going to be towards the very, very end of this year. And I would bump it to the first week of February. That's what they're showing me. It's just a hair past the start of the year. And for you, I got an image of a lighthouse and how you're something connected with a lighthouse and this person. I don't know if he's affiliated with like a park or park ranger or state park lighthouse. It'd be awesome if you wrote back and said, I live right next to a lighthouse. But that's the image that I'm getting is something around this first date or centered around a lighthouse. So and I do want to say, usually when my guides, like, they show me little images, obviously it's under the understanding that you're looking for somebody new. So those are little signs or markers. This in comparison to me saying that, 2 years after you meet, you're going to go on a date at a lighthouse. Like, this is something where this is a tool and how you can identify the person. So when you meet them, oh my gosh, there's something amazing about this person. And there's a lighthouse. Oh my gosh, this is what Marin said 6 months ago. So that's why they show me just a little snippet of a way of helping guide you to getting that right connection.
Yeah, and to kind of feed off of what you're saying about, asking for signs, in one of our last Facebook lives, the psychic was saying, look for signs, ask for exactly what you want to see. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to try this. And I go for walks in my neighborhood almost every day. And I was like, you know what? I had a question in mind, and I said, if the answer is yes, or if I need to go down that path, I want to see a fallen tree. What are the odds there's going to be a fallen tree in my neighborhood? Kid you not, on that walk that night, there was a tree fallen over in the park. And I'm like, is anyone else seeing this right now? This is amazing. So after those signs, it does happen.
It does happen, but what I would add to that is pay attention to that feeling when you saw the tree, because anybody could look at what you just said and go, yeah, okay, it was a tree, big deal. But what really makes it special and validating is that feeling when you just get this surge of energy, like, oh my God, that is the sign. That's what I was looking for. You feel it as well as seeing the visual confirmation. Some people have a stronger perception one way or the other, but I'd love it. That's how our lives should be. That's how we get validation that we're on the right path.
Yes. Oh, next question is from, ooh, they're going so fast.
Okay.
Sorry, I had one in mind and then. Ashley, is my boyfriend Jackson coming home anytime soon?
That is just under 2 weeks, And I just got an image of him hanging out with people that were in, like, I just feel like it's military uniforms, or that I don't believe he is, but I just kept getting this image of somebody that looks like there's military uniforms and in the background. So he's going to be back in just under 2 weeks.
Nice. A next question, Ceci says, life is so good right now. So many prayers answered. Just wondering if John will get a good job in Texas.
Good job. Yes. Give me just 1 second because they're showing me a delay with that. So there's a specific job that I'm seeing that I feel like he's already applied for or in line for. The interview is at the very end of August, but I don't see him starting until the 1st of October. So I don't know if there's like a move that's required. I'm getting this impression that there's a delay for his reasons, not theirs. So by the very last week of August, that's when the process starts. And by the middle of September, it's offered moving in October.
Okay.
Yeah.
Angela wants to know, will I move forward since my husband passed a few years ago? I still feel stuck.
Yes. You are kind of stuck. You are stuck because I don't see you relocating geographically. I don't see any career or big changes in that avenue. And I think that stuck feeling that you are describing, I would label it more as the grief and the healing, because you're still feeling like something's missing. You're still feeling that hole in your heart. And I think that this is keeping you in this safe bubble instead of challenging you in meeting somebody else and feeling pushed into a relationship where I'm not ready. The last thing your guides want for you is to jump too soon and feel overwhelmed and then retreat back and bottle yourself up and be scared to grow. And that's why this is happening for you. I feel like springtime, May, June, early next spring, that's when I start to see you feeling like you're wanting to go outside, you're wanting to go out with friends, and your support from female girlfriends is everything for you. And I really encourage you to rely on that more. You're not a burden. They want to help, and I want you to get out of that bubble. It's going to help the process and the healing faster if you want to engage more with the friendships and that human contact and support. But it's your feeling of being stuck is still necessary. You're not somebody I would push in getting you to just get out there and start dating again and get over it. Nope, you still need to nurse that heart a little bit longer.
Yeah, everyone grieves in their own timeline, and it's not something that you can rush. Tracy wants to know, I have been single for 2 years and would like to know if my next relationship will be with a person I know or a new person.
It's with a person you know, and it's a person you've known for a long time. And I am wondering if it's about their availability or lack of availability, if they were just getting out of another relationship, because this looks like high school, sweet, like young age, young timeline in your life, and somebody that you reconnected with. there's images of boats and like marina and boats and ski boats that I keep getting with him. And I feel like it's a very, very busy, active, outdoorsy relationship. I mean, it'd be awesome if you knew somebody that owned a marina or a boat shop, because they just keep showing me images of boats and lakes. So that's a little tip in helping guide you to him. But you're looking at, you're looking around around springtime that they're showing me this person being very active and now out and about and dating.
Francesca wants to know, Marin, please help. My husband Brian and I have recently separated. Will he change his mind or will we divorce? And then she also adds in, will I find a decent rental?
The decent, boy, you're giving me a double whammy with some answers you're not wanting to hear.
Wow.
I know, and I'm sorry. This always is just so hard for me when I empathically just feel that this is not what you want to hear, but it's going to help. Rental for you looks like it's delayed. And I know you have been searching and searching. You're not getting in fast enough. You've got to find another connection with the property manager or getting an in. You're coming in too late. And by then there's just too many people and you're competing with way too many people looking for the same thing right now. So you've got to find another resource and getting your foot in the door on something sooner. And they just said something about like, this is a friend that finds it for you. So you need to blast your friends and let people know, that can kind of have eyes for you and help. In response to your question about the relationship, I feel like he's being as kind as possible right now to get through this separation. But when that's over, he's just, I'm done. Like I can switch gears. I'm done. I've held on with every last little ounce of energy that I've had to be able to quietly and calmly get through this. And now I can just unwind and relax, and I want to be left alone and silent, and I'm leaving. And you're going to get into a huge, like wall. You're going to feel a huge wall anytime you want to interact or contact him. He's going to go from like Jekyll and Hyde to being kind to just leave me alone. And that's not so much you and the way he views you. It's that he's reached this point of, I just need to be left alone. And what I'm concerned about is that is going to just feel like your lifeline's cut off, and you're going to want that security. You're going to text and reach out, and I'm here, and can't we be friends, and let's have lunch. And you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. So when you feel that wall, you have to respect it, because I would like to say it's time to move on, but I still feel like there's this little glimmer of him looking back. It's very weak, but the only hope that I see in this for you reconciling is if you give him that space where you to yourself, you just turn your back and do something to distract you, something to keep you busy, because you're not going to give him that space that he needs, and he'll never reconsider with that same feeling of pressure.
Nice. Diane says, my mom passed of cancer 3 years ago tomorrow. Is she with me?
She is a busy, busy woman. I believe in reincarnation. She has not reincarnated. And what I see with her is she is just the mastermind behind all the family. And she is the caretaker and the supervisor for everybody. So she's not the type of soul that just sits with you. She does hover over your right shoulder more, but she's not the soul that's just always there. She's I'm sure she was probably a busybody in life, because she's always moving and looking at other people and checking in. She's an active, she adopts an age and mindset of like 35, 40. So often that's kind of the happiest time of their life when they choose that image or how they want to present. So right around like 40s for her, late 30s, 40s for her. But she looks very vibrant, very happy. but the answer is like, you don't need the help as much as others. And so she's just not there all the time consistently. She bounces, but I'm not getting any reincarnation anytime soon. So she's going to have that capacity to be a guide for many years.
That's really nice to know.
Yeah.
Brandy says, will Eddie and I be married? Is he being honest with me about his feelings and intentions?
Yes, he is. And what you've got to watch out for with him is that he will give 110% and you will feel so close and connected. And then 2-3 days later, it's like, where'd he go? What he does is he gives you this undivided time, one-on-one, makes sure that you are happy and satisfied. And then he takes the mindset of, okay, I've got to go tackle this over here because you're in a good place, which to you may feel like he's hot and cold and back and forth. He sees it as, okay, great, everything's good here. Now I've got to go devote myself over here. So he doesn't do as well when it comes to like multitasking and having a lot coming at him at one time. So he approaches this relationship by trying to give you that one-on-one in an undivided attention and then leaves, which feels like a little bit of an abandonment. That's him. That's not anything to worry about. But I do see that will help you immensely if you can feel more comfortable with that pattern. Because I just don't see that there's an alternative that's really going to work better for you. You would rather have that one-on-one when you're with him than have him just anxious and kind of frazzled and feeling spread thin. I actually think he's worked very hard what I'm hearing from him is like, I'm giving you what you want. I worked very hard to give you that one-on-one time to put my cell phone off to the side. So that's the exchange. That's the difference. Now you get the one-on-one, but then you feel kind of empty without him when he switches gears.
Interesting.
But yes, you ask a question about honesty, and I do. He's not hiding anything, and his bouncing back and forth is not to somebody else.
Good to know. And we're hovering around 110. It goes up to 115 people. So let's give ourselves a goal of 150. So everyone, throw some comments, tag some of your friends or family that you know they are going through anything. They need some clarity, some questions answered. Let's get these views up. Our goal is 150. So let's go. Our next question is a very interesting one. So Stephanie says, I've been having a dream that I'm in a relationship and get married to a man. I can see his face vividly, but I don't know who he is. Please help me. Who is he?
I got the name Robert, and that's good because I rarely get names. And when I do get a name, it's important. So I got the name Robert. Let me just give me 1 second because I'm trying to piece together how to help you in finding him. There's somebody named Sabrina that is connected to Robert, and I feel like that's somebody that you will know or know already. Timeline for this is late October, so you've got a couple months still, about 3 months. His family, gosh, I know I've got to respond quicker, and they're giving me a chase. And so I'm trying to give you as much information as I can in a short amount of time. But his family's connected to, which looks, I think it's the bottom part of Louisiana. And it's a female friend of yours by the name of Sabrina, and how you're meeting him. And I know that sounds like a puzzle, but it is. And part of you finding this person, you are a very spiritual, very religious person. And there's something so important about you having this mystery of finding this person and having that aha moment. And I've worked so hard, and I've been so patient, and I've prayed for you. And so there's a maze in how you find this. And I know that is so frustrating for people because they want to call and have me just say, oh, you're going to be at this restaurant tomorrow at noon, and that's how you're going to find them. And sometimes guides show that information, but the majority of times there's a lesson in how you find the person. There's a mystery. There's a reason why it's got to be a little bit challenging. And your situation is like that. It is challenging, and they're giving me all these little puzzle pieces that I'm putting together. But it's through a friend that introduces you, and it's going to feel like this, like divine, oh my gosh, God brought you to me, because that's your belief, or that's the validation you need to know this is the man that's for me and I can trust him. That you need that trustworthiness and kind of this sign from the divine in order to be able to move forward. You've had some rough relationships.
Let's see. Sunshine Walker says, will Grover and I marry? Will Grover and I marry? Will it be someone else? When will I marry?
Such a sweet soul. I can tell you that he's worried that he's going to lose you. You're worried that he's not up to your speed or up to your level. I'm wondering if there's an age difference. It just feels like he's trying to catch up, like he's not worthy enough, and you're go, 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 and he's kind of trailing you. And when they show me this relationship long term, it is very possible for this to be marriage. I'm not seeing this date, but I can tell you, if I'm asking on a timeline, I've already gone down to 2 years, and I don't see you married yet. But I feel like there's so much emotion and fear in him around marriage, where if you were interested in living together, if you were interested in taking these baby steps, that's the type of nurturing he needs to commit, because I feel like either family or upbringing, he's got a very negative attachment to the legal aspect of marriage, and that's what scares him. So he will beat around the bush. He's not going to come right out and just tell you that. It's just going to feel like, why can't we get married? Why is it me? Nope, it's his mental hangups around that. So you need to take little steps to make everything feel like marriage, or growing and getting closer. And then ultimately, I feel like it's going to be closer to about 2.5, 3 years away.
Mariana says, I think about my maternal grandparents a lot. I grew up with them, but have never tried reaching out. Are they with me?
The grandmother is, and I'm wondering if you have, I mean, a lot of people have Native American ancestry, and I'm wondering if you have more, if you have Native connections, because there's a lineage here that you're not as connected with, that's very strong, that's around you, that's very strong. And so this grandmother that has this Native connection, she is like your guide, your primary guide. And this is, I love these types of connections. I love helping people learn how to communicate with their departed loved ones. And your situation would be easy if you needed help connecting with her, because she's just, like I was describing this other caller earlier, unlike her, she's right here. And so that connection is just ripe for you to be able to start communicating and contact her if you want to. But what she's really wanting you to seek out is there's this whole Native lineage that you're not aware of, that would be quite fascinating for you to discover and share with your family.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's interesting. I really like what they're showing me.
I lost her comment, but she responded by saying on her dad's side, it's Native American. So that was spot on.
The woman the person that is here for her is a female. The person that's here, so I'm wondering if it's the dad. Oh, so this would be the dad's mother. Okay, that I suspecting it's the dad's mother, because that's there. The thing that I like about this, and I know this wasn't really what your question was, but if you were comfortable in developing a connection with her, imagine what you could share with your family, or be able to tell them, I spoke with her and she told me this, and now you can share this with your family and help your family and be a medium for your family, because she's ready. She's right there. So I love those types of situations. And I think it would feel very healing for you and the family to know that she's still there.
That's something that's fascinating. All of the past family members, and trying to get to know who you are through people that have passed away in your family. That's very interesting. We're coming up, we have 15 minutes. So I'm going to do a few announcements, and then Marin, do you want to switch over to doing the card pools?
Yeah, I got my deck.
So let me get my announcements out real quick. We have all of our August lives set in stone. So on August 3rd, we have Psychic Kerrigan. On August 10th, we have Psychic Monique. On August 17th, we are doing our tarot live, which is, not on video in a traditional live. We have Psychic Laverne, who's taking over all of our social media channels and writing out her one-card responses, doing tarot. On August 24th, we have Marin with us again. And to round out the month, we have Psychic Tegan on August 31st. And so if you don't follow us already on social media, go ahead and hit the follow button on Facebook right now, and you can get notifications when we start going live right before all of our events. And a reminder that tomorrow is our last day for anyone to enter our contest to get 50 free reading dollars. All you have to do is go to our Facebook page. It's the top pinned post. You have to like, comment, and share to enter to win. And we'll be picking a winner later on this week. And let's get started with the card pools. And just a reminder for anyone that hasn't done this before, you don't have to type out your question for this part. You can, and you'll get a more specific answer. But if you just want to think of your question and ask for a card pool, that works fine as well if you want a little bit more privacy. Let's see. Just gonna start clicking on them because they're moving so fast. Katrina wants to have a card, please.
Okay. 8 of Pentacles, Katrina. This means lots of repetitive, hard work. This is laborious work. It's going to feel tedious, but the wealth associated with this card is really why you're doing this. So lots of hard work and lots of financial income as a result. So it's stability, but it's like a seize the moment because you can just bang it out and work hard, save all that money.
Actually, and before we go to the next one, we have one from YouTube. We don't get a lot of questions on YouTube, so I wanted to. It was just a comment saying I read with Marin. She is very accurate.
So much.
So a little testimonial, not really a question, but I wanted to give some YouTube people some love as well. But thank you very much for writing it in. That's very sweet. And then we have Ebony is asking for a card regarding love, please.
Okay. Okay, this is a tricky one because you are asking about love. This is one of my more favorite cards of the deck, and this is the Hermit. And the Hermit is at the very top of the mountain, shining this light down for everybody to see. And so you've asked for a card in the context of love. But traditionally, this would mean that you are more introverted and that you're a little, okay, hold on. Let me just preface this by saying this is the difference between what we were discussing earlier, where it's the little white book and you're reading and looking up the definition, as compared to speaking with a psychic or an intuitive and somebody that can look at the imagery and also combine it with additional messages that make the reading more in-depth or accurate and detailed. So for you, this card is saying, slow it down. This card is saying, take some time to yourself, regroup, introvert, figure out what it is that you're wanting, because it's really a card of pause and reflect and not an active love. It's saying, take some alone time and perhaps be that source of support for others and be that guide for others, because you're in the stronger position right now for advice or guidance and healing. So that is the Hermit, one of my favorite cards.
What a pretty card too.
Yeah.
AP over on YouTube says, may I also have a card, please?
Okay, you have the 3 of Pentacles. And the Three of Pentacles is about community. It's about coming together. You've got an architect and they're building. This is a church. This is a sense of the community coming together to help for the greater good. So you're doing some sort of project or helping others at this time. That's kind of your guiding message. So that's a good card.
Roxy over on YouTube says, can I get a card pool to help me navigate my cousin's divorce? So it's kind of a card on behalf of someone else.
Yes. Okay. Strength. This is a great card. This is the Strength card. And I think we've had this before because I remember describing this. This is a woman and she is working with this lion. And the whole symbolism and metaphor in this card is, are you gently working or are you aggressively working? Are you just going to push, 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 or are you going to work with a different type of strength? And in this case, she's got the infinity symbol above her head with all of that guiding imagery and intuition. She's learned how to tame the beast. And instead of using force, she's able to tame the beast with her mind and gentleness, and she works with a different type of energy to get the success and results. So in the context of a divorce, my advice would be learn how to navigate it differently, using more of the intuition, using more of the mind rather than the rage and the energy and the fight. It's the message associated with this card is taming the beast. So thank you.
Valerie asks, can I have a card on career and work, please?
Oh, yeah, great. 4 cups. Whoopsie daisy. 4 cups. This is just the most perfect message of you're getting a gift from above. You've got this divine, almost like if you just get out of your crossed kind of pouting, I can't find anything, I'm upset, why isn't this working? And you turn to the different direction and here's just a gift from above right in front of you that you are, if it was a snake, it would have bitten you. Like that's the message of this card. Timeline 1, 2, you are just under 3 weeks before I'm seeing this. And I do get a phone call. So you're going to just be kind of handed this because you've already done the work. So this is accumulation of that search.
Thinner Donut over on YouTube. May I have a card, please?
Thinner Donut. This is the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords is the swords associated with the suit of air are intellect. And so this is about go for it, but whatever you're going for, since this is an ace, meaning like your first step 1, go for it. You're doing it with your mind as opposed to what you're feeling, what you're tangibly working on and working hard. This is mind and will. And this is like a yes, do it because you're using your brain and you've got a good plan so you can go for it.
Let's see. Oh my goodness, they're coming in so fast. Kelly Anderson, card.
Oh, Temperance. This is a healing angel. 1 foot in the water and 1 foot on land is very symbolic in this card. And the water that she's tempering by pouring it back and forth to find the perfect balance. So I'm specifically getting with you in the context of communication and relationship and family dynamics that you, as well as many people right now with the pandemic, you're trying to just figure out what works to keep a relationship and family dynamics intact because it's a juggle. And so that's the metaphor for you right now, is just finding that balance so you can create the healing energy necessary for all the chaos around you in your family situation.
See, Akash, can I get a card, please? When can I find a soulmate or a girlfriend?
That was the question associated with the card?
Yes.
Okay. Gosh. This is not the card that you would really want to see that supports that. This is kind of a card of Normally when it would be associated with money or finances, it would be a card of you need to sit tight. You need to hang on to that money. You need to sit tight. And so interpreting this in terms of relationship, I can't ignore the pentacles, which are representative of money. And I wonder if you have given or supported somebody financially in the past or spent a lot of money. And please don't take offense to me saying this, but I'm just wondering if you've started relationships by spoiling them and spending a lot of money or kind of buying that relationship. Don't impress them with the money. That's where you're going wrong. And I just feel like it's the sit tight and wait. Hold on, January. The significant relationship for you is coming in January. And for some reason, I hear that like you just wanted it by December. And your guides, they've got your back, but it's going to be January, and you are going to conceal conversations about money. Hold off on things that have to do with money and finances and spoiling somebody, because that's what's getting you into trouble in relationships.
Jeanette says, card please on everything.
Okay. Oh, not a good card. This is one of the harder cards in the deck. This is the Nine of Swords, and this card is known as the worst nightmare card. But the positive, the silver lining in this card is that it is just a nightmare, but it feels very real. And so you're going through some heavy stuff right now. But it is a nightmare that you're waking up from. Towards the end of September, early part of October, it starts to diffuse more. But I would honestly say buckle up, because September's just going to be rough. You've got a lot going on that's not very easy right now. So.
And Jeanette, if you want a one-on-one follow-up questions, anything to get some more clarity on that card, feel free to reach out to Marin, because it sometimes helps knowing what's coming.
Yeah.
Speaking of calling, Adriha wants to know when you'll be available today. So Marin, when were your hours for today?
I believe I'm scheduled to log on in about an hour. So
okay.
I was going to wrap up after this, grab a bite to eat, and then I will be working for the rest of the evening. And I am a night owl. I love to work in the evenings. But with that said, all of you listening, if you want me to come online earlier, if you want me to come online in the afternoon, or you've been wanting to get in with me for a year and you can't, call customer service and they will contact me, and I can adjust my schedule and come on. I just prefer to work nights, but sometimes I am available during the day.
Good call. Yeah. And our customer service phone number is on our Facebook page. And of course, you can always go to our website or our app, and you'll also have a phone number for our customer service team. I have to give them kudos, because they are fantastic about patching in people with their favorite psychics. If you don't know who you want to talk to, they can give recommendations. So kudos to our customer service team. They are fantastic. We have 2 more minutes, so let me try to get a couple more in. Flavia, card regarding love, please.
Oh, wow, that's this is a card of betrayal. This is a card of it's not just betrayal, but it's the type of betrayal where this person is now looking back to see, did they notice? Am I going to get caught? Like, this is a tricky card. I don't want to end on that note, so we got to pull another card.
Okay.
But be careful and watch your back in regards to love, because there's some issues going on. I'm sorry.
Sounds like a drama from a TV show. Whew. Card, please. Kawat wants to know about her ex and I.
Okay. Okay. 6 of Swords. In a lot of decks, this card is depicted with another little imagery of like a ghost, like a little soul up here that's guiding you. But the real symbolism in this card is that you are in all of this rocky water, and over here is smooth water. And let me get the glare off. And you're headed towards higher ground with the mountains. And so the metaphor in this card is that you're leaving. You're cloaked, you're leaving, you're going for higher ground, you're sailing away from rocky waters. It's headed towards smooth terrain. You have about 4 more months, like, holidays this year, December, New Year's, like really, really seize the moment, because I'm getting this impression of this celebration where you've achieved this level of peace. I do still see him as an ex. I'm not getting this message in terms of reconciliation. I'm seeing that you have gotten to a place of stability. You finally feel calm and joy and in a positive, more platonic relationship with your ex right around December. So a lot to be thankful for at the conclusion of this year for you.
Nice. Well, that's gonna be our last card because it is at time, but I want to thank everyone for sending in your questions. We did not get to nearly everyone. We had, we're getting some comments, I see them popping up. Oh, card still, I need a card. If you didn't get your question or your card pulled today, come back next week. But more importantly, I would check out our website or our app and try to schedule an appointment with Psychic Marin to have a more one-on-one call with her or chat. Do you use chat, Marin, as well?
I do. Not as often, but I will make a point of starting to use that if the customers are wanting that. Yeah, I'll do that.
Perfect. Yeah, we have a chat feature if you're not comfortable talking on the phone. I know I don't really like talking on the phone all that much. If you're typing in here, so I'm sure that everyone will be comfortable using chat as well. So thank you, everyone, for coming today, and we'll see you next week, same time. And I want to thank Marin. Thank you so much. It's always a joy to have you on the show.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for watching. Be well out there.
Bye. See you next week.
Bye-bye.